Hola, Juan Carlos, can you hear me?
Perfectly, Val.
Hello, how are you today?
Well, very well, but a bit concerned about the suffering of the people in Palma because it's a lot of people involved, 6,000 people evacuated, 166 houses already destroyed, a lot of banana plantations, so it's a serious eruption now.
Yes, I mean, since our last chat where we kind of considered the possibility of an eruption, now we actually have the eruption and authorities have a relatively big eruption at their hand. So it's kind of fascinating to see the live footage and things, but from a volcanologist scientific point of view, it's of course exciting to see lava eruptions, but as you say, the human suffering involved is really putting quite a damper on things. So I feel rather sad in terms of seeing that. What did you say? Over 100 houses destroyed?
166, but it's going to be probably more than double that figure because actually the lava is progressing towards the ocean through a field that is full of houses. So it's a very populated area. Well, very. According to the La Palma population.
Yes, let me quickly get the map up, if that's okay for you. I prepared a few maps, but first of all, well, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, well, this is the lava flow crossing the main road.
That's right.
Here is not very thick. So because it's close to the vent and still is very hot, but as the lava progresses and get cooler,
well,
actually
let me bring this up first. So this is from it's not from today, it's from yesterday, I think.
Yesterday, but you can see there that the lava flow is probably 40 or 50 meters thick. This is enormous.
It's really thick, and here, of course, really? It digests vegetation and it meets the houses and things like that. Some of the tongues peter out, and then you have very thin lobes. But I mean, here, this is the main lobe, it seems, and whoa, this is quite serious. Now, but people have been evacuated, as far as I know.
Because there is another vent opened about 1 kilometer to the west. Right, the main vent, and also they have to evacuate another 1,000 people or so.
Okay, let's look at the map here. So this is the first of all, this is the area. Maybe I'll start with a different map first of all, if that's okay. So here we have a map of La Palma, geological map, and this is the 1949 eruption. This is
exactly the yellow color is the Cumbre Vieja rift.
That's right.
And in red, there are all the previous historical eruptions.
And the current eruptions, vents, they're somewhere here, is that right?
Around there, exactly.
So, and the lava is coming down here. And of course, this part of the island is a major population center. So
because it's very flat. It's a very flat area and a very good for banana plantation.
Right, yes. So let's quickly look at the other map here, and here we have some of these coastal flats from the previous.
This is the 1949 eruption that came all the way down. This is the black lava, and constructed an extensive lava platform. And you see that immediately they used artificial soil. They brought soil from the oldest part of the island, and they make artificial. How you say, farm that is covered now with banana plantation. Very rich, because it's a very good place to plant bananas. Probably this eruption will eventually construct another similar platform, and again in the future will be covered with banana plantations too.
I see.
This is one of the positive aspects of this eruption in the future.
Yes, I see. This will take a little bit of time, of course, but yeah, let's see how this develops. But I mean, now the big problem is, of course, the lava will migrate down. There is an old cone, so likely the lava will have to travel around, and the new vent.
Around this is the main. This is the Todoque mountain.
Yeah.
Exactly, and the Todoque village is in to the east.
Okay, so
of the
here.
volcano. This exactly.
And the new vent is somewhere here, correct?
Exactly.
So El Pedregal.
El Pedregal, all this also populated
it's also
area is
kind
going
of
to be threatened.
problematic
Yes.
now. Yes. So, and ultimately, there's estimates that the lava will reach the sea in the next few hours, if this is right. Did I understand
probably
this
they are
correctly?
very optimistic. I probably it will be late in the evening or even in the night, because now is the further the lava goes, the cooler it gets, and the more viscous, so it's more difficult to advance.
Okay, yeah, so it will take a little bit of time, but at some point it will reach the coast. So I think that's unavoidable, yes. So
yeah, because there is no signs at all that the lava flow is going to stop.
Well, and yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I mean, it's going strong. It's erupting from several vents. A new vents has opened, and you see that there's multiple lava lobes. So it's going to be quite a serious thing, I think. And I brought this map up here, looking at some of the older eruptions. First of all, this is where La Palma is. Let me zoom in a little now. And this is the 1949
The blue color
material.
is the oldest part of the island, is the Taburiente volcano.
That's up here, yes.
And in yellow is the younger reef, the Cumbre Vieja reef, where all the historical erosion have been located.
And that's the ones in red. And what we see here is that the Quemada eruption, which
this is the oldest one.
Yeah. This has covered quite a large area, and this is a bit disconcerting. And if we are now here in this part, I mean, there's a good chance that new vents will actually contribute to covering a large area.
Another characteristic is you see El Charco in 1712 is that this eruption is typically multi-bend. So there is a lot of bends that can produce different lava flows. Yes. This is what actually is happening in this new eruption, that there are 9 different vents producing lava. And now is another new vent that is 100 kilometers away. So in the long run, probably they could be like the Charco in 1712, a multi-vent eruption.
I see, okay, okay. So yeah, this is a bit disturbing. There's several vents here along a line, along a fissure, I presume.
Exactly. So. A line that could be a dike coming from deep in the...
Yes, I think that sounds very reasonable, absolutely. So that's very good indeed. Okay. Well, I mean, there's various models out there one can find on the internet about how the lavas will progress. But I mean, there's an element of speculation, because if new vents open up, then of course everything will change rather
Everything can change any moment. So we cannot speculate, but because still the eruption in this initial stage is so active that they can change in any moment.
I see. I mean, and also the size of the eruption is intriguing here, looking at the size of the fire fountains. I mean, I picked up a picture from the 1971 eruption, the one 50 years ago, the last onshore eruption.
I was
you were there, right?
I was working in the Teneguía eruption 50 years ago. And I remember that the Teneguía is a very friendly eruption. No victims, well, no houses below us, etc. And this new eruption is, I would say, an order of magnitude larger. The column in Teneguía was only a few, maybe 200 meters high. But this new eruption is more than 1,000 meters. So it's a lot more energetic.
I see. Okay. So the thing I wanted to show is the organization plan. And I think this is, of course, very useful. I mean, this is when the volcano starts to make noise, how the information is digested. And
to the authorities, and then there is a committee, a scientific committee, coordinated with the Protection Civil, that they make all the advisor to the authorities of what to do every time. So they have also kind of semaphore or whatever you say, a traffic light.
Yes.
With 4 colors. Green is the normal, yellow it was with the seismic activity, and then jump to the red once the eruption started. And then this is communicated to the media, to the official and the official authorities, to the population. Actually, I must say that in comparison with other eruptions, like for instance, the El Hierro eruption in 2011, this has been managed a lot better. So
I'm quite impressed actually with the authorities, because they only had basically 1 week of serious earthquake unrest.
Exactly.
So there was activity already in the last few years, small scale, so people were more prepared. But I think the fact that several thousand people have been successfully evacuated, that despite the large and quite strong onset of the eruption, there was no fatalities so far, and to my knowledge, casualties are very, very limited. This is a great achievement by the authorities. So absolutely. I mean, I take my hat. It's quite impressive, actually.
In spite of this eruption being larger, actually the management of the crisis has been very, very, very good, and there is no casualties at all. Nobody has been hurt by the eruption, and of course the loss of properties is unavoidable, because these lava flows cannot be stopped, but this can be compensated in the future. Although people are very sad because you can compensate with money, but you cannot compensate the work of an entire life that people has dedicated to build their houses and their farms, etc.
Well, there is some numbers around. I don't know how good they are, but there's some estimates about the amount of millions of euros that have already been lost. Can you say a word about that?
Well, they have estimated yesterday was up to 400 million euros, but probably will be more than that in the long term.
Yes, I think so, and particularly now how the lava progresses to the sea is going to be a very important aspect of it. And of course, there's a new danger once the lava kind of enters the sea, not just for people who live close to the sea and for the biodiversity and for the fishing grounds and things, but there's also the gas problem.
Let's say first that these 400 millions or 800 millions, whatever, can be compensated because it's only money. But there is an immaterial issue that cannot be compensated. Again, I repeat that the people have lost a lot of their own work and their own past, and this is very, very sad.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have the live cam here, and it's just really disturbing to watch. I mean, if you, well, luckily no fatalities and casualties at a minimum.
Yeah, this
rate,
is the main.
Having to watch your
issue.
house going up in flames and all the labor you put in, I mean, it must be devastating.
Yeah.
Well, but let me quickly come back for people who are interested. Let me quickly come back to lava entering the sea. There was huge problems in 2011 in El Hierro with huge amounts of fish dying when there was the submarine eruption. Hopefully it will not be quite as severe here, but there's a new risk, and that is the gases. Can you maybe give us a little bit of information about that?
The main issue when lava enters the sea has been, or they suffered this issue in Hawaii, and they coined the name BOG, B-O-G. That is a derivation of smog. The smog is the contamination by the traffic in the cities, etc. And this is contamination originated from lava flows entering the sea. There's sulfur. At the end, the combination of the lava with the seawater produces sulfuric acid that made an acid rain that is very, very dangerous for vegetation and also for human, because they affect the lungs. It's an aerosol.
Yes.
So you breathe this aerosol, and this is very damaging.
Tiny droplets of effectively acid, and this is
yes.
not very good for man and beast. And yeah, so I can see the problem there. So as you say, in the long run, of course, the other aspect is this will make new land, as we've seen with the 1949 eruption, the 1971 eruption. And within a few years, one would hope that there's banana plantations on this. But of course, the active situation is a bit more disturbing. This is that there may be some good coming out of the current bad, but I mean, I think at the moment, people on the island are busy with dealing with the current situation and trying to keep things as safe as possible for the population. And this gas problem, this might be a new level of difficulty, because this is not as easily contained, because the lava flow, you can seal off the area and you can take the people out, but gas will travel, and it will travel with the wind and things like that. So
absolutely. Also, Val, we have to consider that we only have been a few days, and usually this eruption lasts weeks and even months. Yes. So probably we will be talking in weeks or months of a completely different eruption. Although I must say that once this is not going to change a lot, because once the eruption gets into the ocean, it will be more or less stabilized, and all the lava will be spent in constructing this eventual coastal platform.
That's what I think as well. So just to close off, I mean, some people seem to still be worried about mega landslides. I have heard no serious data that would indicate any larger instability. Of course, the ground is inflating, but I have not heard anything about, any migration of the Cumbre Vieja flank or so. Is there any indication to your knowledge?
I think this is a wild speculation, because, of course, there have been a few of these giant landslide in the Canary Islands and even in La Palma.
Of course, in the past, of course, no doubt.
That was 600,000 years ago. So the scale of time has nothing comparable with the human or the human life. So 600,000 is an enormous amount of time.
We must also be realistic. All the little eruptions, in inverted commas, little eruptions that we've shown earlier, the historical ones, 1949, 1971, and then of course 1712, and etc., etc. I mean, it seems that no major landslide has occurred during any of those historical eruptions. I mean, maybe
there are no signs whatsoever of any, how you say, cracking in the roads or whatever, or a low of
not on a large scale, to what I understand at least. But I hope you can confirm that.
Okay. There was a small normal faulting in the 1949 eruption.
Yeah.
But this could be related even to a dike intruding close to the surface and has nothing to see. Anyway, a gravitational giant landslide involving enormous part of the island and threatened even the eastern coast of the United States. I think this is a gross exaggeration, and it's not the right moment to talk about this, because it's just a speculation that is
I think
doing nothing good.
As long as people are kind of, busy sorting the phenomena that arise from moving lava, I think if there's no clear indication for instability, this is not the kind of thing to bring up, because it will just actually be counterproductive. I agree with you on that. Okay, well, Juan Carlos, thank you very much for kind of talking with me and confirming some of my picked up knowledge from the media, and this is very good to have you there, and reporting back. I know that you're in contact with Pivolca people. There are several on the island that you're very close to, so it's as close as I can get scientifically to the eruption. So thank you for making time for me, and well, I guess we'll be catching up with each other in a few days, and then hopefully the eruption will not be becoming more serious than it is already.
Let's hope so. Okay, thank you, Val.
Thank you, Juan Carlos. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.